In the dark days of the Great Depression, a new breed of criminal emerged. Bank robbers who became folk heroes to some and public enemies to others. Among them, one name struck fear into the hearts of lawmen across America. Tonight we sit down with the man himself to hear his story, from the streets of Chicago to his final bloody showdown with the FBI. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Nelson, or should I call you Lester?
Call me George. Only the papers call me Babyface, and I ain't fond of it.
Fair enough, George. Let's start at the beginning. Tell us about your childhood in Chicago.
I was born December 6, 1908, on the west side of Chicago, near Humboldt Park. My folks were Belgian immigrants. My old man worked in a tannery. We didn't have much, but we got by.
Recalling your young Lester Gillis days, do you remember when things started to go wrong?
Wrong? Depends on how you look at it. I was always small for my age. Kids used to push me around. I learned quick that if you want respect, you gotta take it. By the time I was 11, I was running with the crew, stealing cars, making a name for myself. Then, when I was 12, I found a pistol in a pal's old man's car. The thing went off. Shot my friend in the jaw. It was an accident, but the law didn't care. They sent me to the state reformatory. That's where I really learned how to be a criminal.
So you get out of the reformatory at 15. Tell us what happened next.
I tried to go straight, worked as a mechanic, helped support my family, but the money wasn't enough, and the streets kept calling. By 18, I was running bootleg whiskey for the Toohey gang, stealing tires, doing whatever paid.
And that's when you met someone very special.
Yeah, Helen Wozniak, prettiest girl I ever saw. She was just 16 when we married in 28. A year later, we had our boy, Ronald. Then Darlene came along in 31. Helen stuck by me through everything, the good, the bad, and the worse.
So she did know what you were getting into?
Yeah, she knew. She never judged me. Said she'd follow me to hell and backs. And she did.
Let's talk about the tape bandits. How did that start?
That was my crew. We'd bust into rich folks' homes, tie them up with adhesive tape, and clean them out. January 1930. We hit the home of a magazine executive, Charles Richter. Walked out with $205,000 in jewels. The papers ate it up.
And then you moved on to banks?
Banks were where the real money was. April 1930, I robbed my first one. After that, there was no turning back.
You worked for Al Capone for a while. Can you tell us what that was like?
Capone? Yeah, I did some muscle work for him. But even Big Al said I was too violent. Can you believe that? The most famous gangster in America thought I was too much.
You escaped from prison in 1932. How did you pull that off?
I was being transferred back to Joliet after testifying against an associate. Slugged a guard and ran. My friends in the Toohey gang helped me get out west, Reno, then Sausalito. I laid low, tended bar, waited for the heat to die down.
In 1934, you teamed up with John Dillinger. How did that come about?
Dillinger was in a tight spot, locked up in Crown Point, Indiana after a bank job went south. Word got out he needed help busting out. Well, I had the guns, the men, and the know-how. So, we made a deal.
So, tell us, what was Dillinger like?
Smart, cool under pressure. The papers loved him, called him a gentleman bandit. Me? They called me a mad dog. But Dillinger knew I got results.
June 1934. The FBI tracked John Dillinger and his gang to a remote lodge in northern Wisconsin, Little Bohemia. What followed was one of the most infamous shootouts in American gangster history. What brought you to Little Bohemia?
We were trying to lay low after the last job. Dillinger needed a place to hole up, and Little Bohemia was perfect, remote, quiet.
What happened when the FBI showed up?
We heard shots outside. I grabbed my Tommy gun and told the boys to get ready. The feds were all over the place, and they weren't playing nice. We opened fire on them, trying to clear a path for the boys to get out.
We lost a couple of good men that night, but Dillinger and me got away.
A month later, Dillinger was killed, and you became public enemy number one. How did that feel?
It meant every Fed in the country wanted my head. I knew my days were numbered, but I wasn't going to go down easy.
Let's talk about November 27, 1934, the day it all ended.
Barrington. I was driving with Helen and my pal John Paul Chase, heading back towards Chicago.
2 FBI agents, Cowley and Hollis, spotted us near Fox River Grove. They gave chase.
What happened next?
Our car's feed pump got shot out. We pulled off the highway into a park entrance. The feds stopped behind us.
I grabbed my Tommy gun and went straight at them. I took 17 bullets that day. 17. But I kept shooting. Hollis went down first, then Cowley. I walked right up to their car and finished it.
So tell us, how did you manage to get away?
Chase helped me back to the car. Helen was there, waiting. We drove to a safe house. I knew I wasn't going to make it. They found my body the next morning, wrapped in a blanket by a cemetery. Helen surrendered on Thanksgiving Day.
You died that night, at just 25 years old. Any regrets?
I lived more in 25 years than most men do in a lifetime. I never begged, never backed down.
What do you want people to remember about you?
That I was George Nelson, not Babyface. And I was born to raise hell.
As the sun set on America's gangster era, the name Babyface Nelson faded into legend, a symbol of reckless ambition, loyalty, and fury. His story reminds us that even the fiercest men chasing power can never outrun time or justice. That's the story of George Babyface Nelson. Be sure to spike that like button and shoot subscribe. Until next time, stay curious and stay tuned for more AI Memoirs.